Today, we're jumping into a book that basically changed the game for modern self-help. It's Louise Hay's You Can Heal Your Life. Now, it's sold millions and millions of copies for a reason. At its core is a pretty wild idea that our lives and even our physical health are a direct mirror of what's going on in our minds. So, let's unpack what that actually means.
I want you to think about this for a second. What if every single challenge you're facing, money stuff, relationship drama, health issues, what if none of that was the real problem? What if it was all just a symptom of something deeper, something that you could actually change, right here in this very moment?
And that question leads us straight to the absolute core of Hay's work, this idea of the mind-body connection. She says there's basically no wall between what you think and what your body experiences. Your body is, for all intents and purposes, listening to every single thing your mind says.
And we're not just talking about, stress giving you a headache. The idea here is way bigger. It's that every single cell in your body is reacting to every single thought. Your body literally becomes a physical printout of your most common mental habits and your deepest beliefs.
So, okay, if our problems are just the symptoms on the surface, how in the world do we figure out what the real problem is? Well, Hayes says we have to put on our detective hats and start looking underneath all the daily noise and struggle.
You see, after working with tons and tons of clients over the years, Louise Hay started to see a pattern. People would show up with all sorts of different issues, right? But when she traced them back, she found that all these different paths led to the exact same deeply hidden root cause.
And there it is. This is the big one. This is the diagnosis she landed on. A deep, fundamental belief that I'm not good enough. Hay argues that this single belief is the source of so much of our pain. It might wear different masks, like I'm not smart enough for that job, or I'm not lovable. But dig down and you'll find that same feeling of not being worthy.
So here's where it gets really interesting. If the problem is a thought, well, then the solution has to be a thought too, right? This is where we get the framework for how to actually change things. It's all built on a few key principles about how our minds literally create our world.
Now, this is a really crucial piece of a puzzle. Our thoughts aren't just background noise. They're not passive. They are creative. They are the blueprints for our future. And that's a huge deal because it means the power and, the responsibility is right back in our court.
And what's so freeing about this is where the power lies. It's not in the past, that's done. It's not in the future, that's not here yet. The only place you can ever make a change is right here, right now. This present moment is where you can choose a new thought and start building something different.
This might just be the most empowering idea in the whole book. It makes everything so much simpler. You're not fighting your circumstances, you're not fighting your past, you're not fighting other people. You are only ever dealing with a thought. And a thought, no matter how stubborn it feels, can be changed.
All right, so the theory is all well and good, but how do you actually do this stuff? How do you put it into practice? Let's get into the practical toolkit for making these changes happen.
Hay breaks it down into 3 really clear steps. Step 1 is just being willing. You don't even have to know how yet. Just be open to letting go of the old stuff. Then it's about taking back the controls, consciously choosing your thoughts instead of letting them run on autopilot. And finally, the big one, forgiveness. This is how you cut the cords to the past.
And we have to talk about forgiveness, because according to Hay, things like resentment, criticism, and guilt, those are the most toxic, damaging patterns we can hold on to. She calls forgiveness the road to love and says it's the only thing that can truly dissolve all that negativity we carry around. So what does this look like day to day? How do you actually start rewiring your brain and building this new reality you want? Well, Hay's #1 tool for this is the affirmation.
Now look at the difference here. It's really important. When you say, I don't want to be unhappy, your mind is still focused on the word unhappy. The trick is to state exactly what you do want and state it in the present tense, as if it's already true. I am happy. See that? It's a huge shift from trying to avoid something bad to actively creating something good. But, and this is a big but, it's not like waving a magic wand. Hay has this great metaphor. You're planting new seeds in the garden of your mind. They're not going to become giant trees overnight. You've got to water them every day, and you've got to keep pulling out the old weeds of negative thinking. It takes patience. It takes consistency.
And this really is the core promise of the whole book. It's such a bold and powerful statement. It puts the power right back in your hands. But notice the key words, willing and mental work. It does take effort, but the possibility for healing, she says, is pretty much limitless.
So we'll end with a question for you to take away from all this. After hearing these ideas, just think about your own life for a minute. What is one limiting belief, one old story, one of those I'm not good enough thoughts that you might, just might, be ready to let go of